Like all good adventures, something inevitably takes you off plan. In this case, it was the torrential rain on the morning we were due to set off. We navigated local roads before picking up the route just outside Kingsonbourne.
The world seems small. We can sit
Less than 20 minutes in, being stopped.
It's so beautiful.
The route regularly switched between gravel byways and single tracks, skirting fields linked by quiet country roads.
In the great outdoors, forever free.
We veered off route up to Figsby Ring for our first lunch stop, where we had beautiful views across Salisbury. What you got?
Roast chicken, flavoured pasta, mugshot and wraps. Delicious.
To be in the great outdoors, forever free. You and me, meant to be in the great outdoors.
After descending from Old Sarum, we crossed over the Woodford Valley and detoured from the Amesbury route to pass Stonehenge instead. Grass paths were quite rutted and sucked a lot of our energy as the afternoon went on, but after a couple of hours alongside Salisbury Plain we found a spot to camp for the night. As we cooked and the light faded, flares lit up our surroundings, closely followed by heavy shelling. This continued well into the night. The next morning we woke to a wonderful sunrise and mist filling the Devisers Valley. We ate breakfast, packed up camp, and set off along the top in our down jackets. We descended from the top of Birchfront Hill and headed north. Our next stop was planned to be Avebury, but we needed to cross over Tan Hill, a steep road climb followed by a lovely descent. Avebury had a great selection of food for us, or maybe we were just hungry. Having bought multiple items each, we soon realised that we weren't going to eat all of it for lunch, and would therefore be carrying the extra weight for the ascent onto the ridgeway. The chalky paths made going difficult, with multiple near misses and one or two falls. As we reached the top, the rain got heavier for the next hour or so. With little to no shelter, we put our heads down and made as much ground as we could. The descents were bitterly cold and the ascents were difficult to find grip, but the cloud was beginning to lift and the views were improving. After a brutal day crossing the Ridgeway, we cruised down the final descent into Street Lee and onto some much welcome tarmac. The last thing we needed was hills too steep to ride.
Step. So Harriet wanted to camp high, so we're pushing our bikes off course up the hill.
In torchlight, we set up camp, had dinner and tucked ourselves in. We woke to another cold but beautiful morning with wildlife all around us.
Morning, happy campers. What we got for breakfast this morning?
Oh, we've got
Cakes.
cake.
Chocolate cake.
Got a pan of chocolate, nicely creamed. Some porridge oats and chocolate buttons in the porridge. And a hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate. Oh, that's a good shout.
Back en route, we followed the Thames into Reading. Despite only being a couple of days, riding through the city felt like returning to civilization after a much longer trip. Before long though, we passed through Reading and we're heading south.
Your bag, mate. I can't help you in any way, shape or form. No, your bottle's catching now.
Well, I tried.
Trails began to get a lot more sandy as we approached Frensham.
Oh, Harriet's off. Alex is off. I'm gonna go right. Ugh. I was planning right from the top.
It's amazing how much can change in the space of 20 minutes. From glorious sunshine to torrential rain, darkness and struggling to find somewhere to set up camp. Wet, cold and hungry, the mood wasn't so great this evening. In the early hours of the morning, we woke to lights shining across the woodland, closely followed by gunfire. The gunshots continued while we packed up camp. We didn't hang around or draw too much attention to our presence. Well, maybe a little.
Here it comes. I thought I heard something.
As we headed further south, the South Downs Way soon became visible and began to feel like it was going to be a large climb to reach the top. The combination of a climb and the sun coming out had warmed us up and dried out most of our gear. The mood had definitely lifted.
Harriet, still in the climb.
Feeling like we were on the home straight and that nothing could stop us, a sudden steep descent covered with large loose rocks caught us off guard.
A bike with no wheels. Two wheels.
The double puncture didn't want to reseal, but after several attempts and over an hour later, we resorted to inner tubes. With the end in sight, we ate up the last few miles and quickly found the statue. We'd done it! We'd ridden to the king. Our route covered 233 miles and 5,000 metres of ascent over 3.5 days. We rode 29ers with Alex on a full sus, Harriet on a hardtail and Andy on a gravel bike, all carrying our own gear.
Is that dinner? Come on. What are we up to? What are we up to today?
Just riding that bike.